I'm so excited about our team this year. I think we've had some great training in the summer. We've had some really good practices this preseason. I'm really excited about how hard we're working right now and how we're just, as a team, we're getting really connected. We're continuing to grow together on the floor and off the floor and really focusing on building and maintaining our culture of love, trust, and work. And it's such a fun team. Like right now, you look, we have this combination of these returners that offer some really great leadership and some really great experience. And then we've added some different combinations of some transfers and some freshmen that are doing really, really well, and they're really hungry. And so right now our practices are going well, and it's been a really fun team.
How much are you going to lean on girls like Delaney and Maddie that had the starting roles last year and being able to lead this team with all these new faces?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. And certainly, you rely on that kind of leadership and that kind of experience quite a bit. And so when you look at our roster, we've got, returning starters in Delaney Crawford and Hadley Perriman and Maddie Cartwright. And then you look at what Elise Hill was able to do for us, especially towards the end of the year in that postseason run, and just being able to come in and make some huge contributions. And so we certainly rely on that experience, but I'm really excited about some of these additional pieces that we've been able to add to our program as well. Those pieces, when we look at adding those pieces, first and foremost, we're gonna look at our culture, make sure they're a good fit character-wise for what we are here at TU, and then also look at skill set. So when you look at the additions to our program, you're gonna find a high skill set. You're gonna find a lot of versatility, and so we're really excited about just certainly the returners that are going to be able to provide that experience, but also for our newcomers that are going to contribute to our team in different ways.
The newcomers and what each, touch base, summarize each one a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. Happy to go through that. So from a transfer status, we signed 5 transfers. So we signed Jade Clack, who was a transfer from TCU, who is a 6'1", versatile guard, versatile forward, can kind of play a little bit all over the floor. We signed Paige Bradley, who is also a transfer from TCU, who is a 5'10", 5'11", strong, versatile guard who can shoot it really well and has a super high IQ. And then we signed Crystal Eisen, who was a transfer from Jacksonville State, who is a 5'8" guard that is quick, can really get downhill a little bit. Defensively is a nightmare for whoever she's guarding. And then we also signed a transfer, Michaela Miller, who came to us from Creighton, who is a 6'1", versatile guard, versatile forward, going to be able to play all over the floor, can shoot the ball really, really well, gives us a lot of length and versatility in that guard spot too. And then we signed another transfer that came to us from Penn, who is Toby Aid, who is coming to us as a really versatile guard.
Of college athletics, how did you approach roster retention and roster building?
Yeah, that's a great question. The student athletes get a lot of choices and a lot of decisions, and for those, they're made for different reasons and different ways. And for us, we really focus on maintaining our values and maintaining our mission of our program. And so first and foremost, we want to make sure that we have, a team that can compete for championships. They're going to fit our culture. They're going to fit our skill set. You also want to make sure that you're creating a positive program. We pride ourselves on being a transformational program that's about more than just basketball, but developing a positive program that's going to help our players become better leaders after they get that degree and maybe after they play pro or whatever their career field is. And then we also really focus in our program about serving others, being a program that's about helping other people all the way around. And so for us, we're able to create those things, and we still want to maintain the mission of our program and continue to, have the same goals and have the same vision.
Where is the NCAA tournament in the list of your goals?
Well, we want to compete for championships. Certainly we do. Postseason play is something that we want to compete for every single year. And so when you look at it, from a program, from a competitive standpoint, we want to be top 25 in the country in basketball, and we want to be top 25 academically as well. And if you're in that range, then you're certainly going to be a contender for that tournament.
Nathan? You guys obviously had a great regular season last year. Not exactly the conference tournament you wanted. Is that a motivator for this season or a learning experience that can pay off this year?
For sure. It's all learning experiences, isn't it? I think when you look at those returners that went through, what they went through last year and just had a fantastic season and fantastic postseason play, coming off of that, are we certainly happy and excited for the momentum of women's basketball and the momentum of our team and the way that our team can even traject to greater heights? Sure, but are we still hungry absolutely. We're in practices right now, and I'm telling you, it's like we're competing for the national championship on the floor in between the lines every day, which is so much fun in practice to have that type of fire, to have that type of competitiveness, to be able to step on the floor and understand that everything you're doing right now is to have an opportunity for what you want to get in March. And so I feel like that experience has given our team, a great perspective on what it takes and how much more work we really have to do.
And we saw Crawford was named to a watch list today for Mid-Major Player of the Year. Can you just talk about what makes her a special player and what she means to the team?
Yeah, well, Delaney Crawford is a phenomenal player and a phenomenal person. I think that her work ethic is unmatched, and any time that she can garner any type of recognition with those awards, it's certainly well deserved for her, and also a huge honor for our team. She's going to outwork everybody in the gym, and she's done that, ever since she was young and growing up as a coach's kid, and just really having a great understanding of the process. And she's one who has fully bought into the process, and you're seeing a lot of those rewards coming to her right now. If you asked Delaney about that, she would probably just kind of say thanks and laugh it off and realize that she's got, a lot of work to do this week in practice. And that's one thing that makes her so great, is that she always has the mentality of what more can I do and what more can I do for my team. And so Delaney is such, she's not just a special talent, she's a special person in the way that she leads others and the way that she serves others and the way that she's an ambassador for our team, really.
Where have you seen growth from Elise Hill during the off season, and what does she need to do to take her game to the next level?
Yeah, I'm so glad that you asked about her, because she's a kid who was in the gym every single day this summer, whether we had training that day or not. And Elise is really hungry, and she's so talented. She's a very gifted scorer in about every which way. And Elise is really growing in her understanding of how to use her abilities in different situations at different times. And she's doing a great job. And then if you guys were just a fly on the wall at practice a little bit, you would hear Elise's voice the whole practice. She's really grown as a leader, and she's really helped some of our newcomers and just understanding kind of where to be and when, and some of the terminology that we're using. And so she's doing a great job.
And go over your approach for the non-conference scheduling.
Yeah, well, we wanted to create a schedule that we felt could really help prepare us for conference. And so when you look at that, we wanted to have some challenging opponents that are going to help our team grow in different ways. Whenever we look at our non-conference schedule, we look a lot at style of play. What style of play are we going to see in conference? What's going to help prepare us for conference play? And then what's going to help prepare us for postseason play that we want? So we look at opponents and their style of play to be able to be able to help us compete and help us grow as a team.
Another one that I feel like we should talk about is Cam. She had a big role at the end of season with the guards that had the injury bug. How is she going to add to the depth, especially defensively, the way that she was?
Yeah, I'm glad that you asked about her too, because she is so much fun on the floor. She Energizer Bunny out there. She never runs out of energy, and she is all over the floor all the time, offensively, defensively, making plays. And I think you're going to see huge strides from her. I felt like she had a great summer. We did some player development things with her, and she worked incredibly hard to be able to grow her game and be able to really be able to do more than just distribute the ball. And so we're excited about her growth this summer too.
Someone that I feel like you have to really tell to look at your shot in a game is Hadley. She is very good about rebounding, being able to be physical for the team. But have you guys told her a little bit more this summer with a year more experience to Hadley, look at your shot a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. And it's going to be so much fun whenever you guys are able to come out and be able to see the growth that we have in some players that are returning, because they're working incredibly hard to be able to grow their game. And we talk a lot about when you're the best that you can be, our team can be the best that it can be. And we do all those things from a motivation of really helping the team be their best. So if you guys know me, there's not a single player on our roster that I tell not to shoot the ball. We are always encouraging, if you're open, you're on balance, you're in rhythm, your team needs you to take that shot. And so Hadley is certainly one that has grown her mindset quite a bit and looking for her own scoring opportunities on the floor and within our style of play.
Last thing from me, obviously you lose a player like Tamira, and would you bring Delaney in and kind of talk about her role this season as being a girl that came in that class and kind of being one of the only ones left out of that class?
I think we talk a lot about teams, not necessarily classes, right? We talk a lot about, with our team, there's never been one person that's bigger than our team, and we're very much a team-oriented, a team-oriented system with what we have. And I think, that weight of responsibility is distributed among everybody. I think you'll find a lot more depth on our team this year than maybe we typically have had in the past a little bit. But then there are players that want to take that strain and that want to have that on their shoulders. And I think Delaney's a great example of that. There's no moment that's too big for her, right? And out of all of this, it comes from the motivation of wanting to have and help your team win.
How do you go about using the increase in general interest in women's basketball nationally to help build your program and to help increase your program?
Yeah, that's a great question, because there's so much momentum and there's so much excitement around women's basketball right now. You look at the NCAA tournament last year. You look at even the WNBA right now, who, they're in their finals series right now. You look at just the attention that's drawn to it. And I think for us, we've been able to really have good moments in our season where we've garnered great support from the community. I can't say enough about our fans. I can't say enough about the community and the way that they have come out to support our program. And sometimes I think you have people coming to games because they're a women's basketball game, and then they see our team and they fall in love with a Delaney Crawford, with a Hadley Perriman, with an Elise Hill, right? They're going to fall in love with some of our freshmen and some of our newcomers. And that's really what continues that support, is that connection that they're going to have with our team. And so, just as our program continues to climb and continues to grow and continues to have a desire to compete for championships, you're going to see that support for our players because of the connection that these fans have with our players, and because who our players are as people, in addition to how they're performing on the floor.
You mentioned your transformational program that you have, entering year 4 for you. Where are the biggest areas of growth just in seeing those moments where you're like, all right, we're starting to get it, and this was my overall thought process when I took this job?
Yeah, that's a great question, because people ask a lot of questions about what's the difference in year 1, year 2, year 3, and now going into year 4. Ask me that question again at the end of the year and I'll let you know. But no, I think one thing that is really important is that you understand that you are always building your culture. There's never a moment where you're set, we've reached it, we're at the pinnacle, we can move on to other things. Like our culture of love, trust, and work is the foundation of everything that we do. And we have a great focus on that every single year, whether we have a lot of newcomers, whether we have freshmen, whether we have a veteran team, whether we have returners. Like, it's never fully built, and your culture evolves and it changes with each team. And that is one thing that has been, it has been so much joy this summer with our team, building that culture, understanding our strengths in those areas. And one thing that we're really focusing on right now is building trust. You've got to have a great amount of trust. You've got to have a great amount of unity. And we talk about how we're going to have great trust on the floor and how we're going to have great trust off the floor. And I'll tell you what, this team, those growth areas that you asked about and that were mentioned, like, they're going through those growth areas pretty quickly. And I think I'm so fortunate to be able to coach a wonderful group of young women who are fully embracing our culture of love, trust, and work, and what that translates onto the floor. So we're building this part of our culture. And when you look on the floor, it translates into teamwork and toughness. We're going to be a program that's going to play fast. It's going to be fun. We're going to have an up-tempo style of play. You're going to see us get up and down the floor, but you're also going to see a team that's going to share the ball. They're going to play team basketball. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting, and they're going to be out there playing for each other. And then the other part of our identity with teamwork is toughness. So when you look at our culture of love, trust, and work, and it goes onto the floor, you guys get to see it as teamwork and toughness. And we have a team that's going to be relentless. They're going to be relentless in the way they play for each other, and they're going to be relentless in the way that they're going to outwork people. And so it's been really fun so far, and I know that we have a lot of work ahead of us and we have a lot of growth to do, but we have different focal points throughout the year to make sure that we're always building that culture and building our team.
Does anyone outside of the locker room really understand how difficult the process is at times? Because even in today's landscape, you just mentioned all the transfers that you brought in. When you're looking at them, the type of player and the person that you want to bring in, but you're still bringing them into a new atmosphere in general, and the speed that we want everything to come together at the same time. Does anyone have any idea of how truly difficult it really is?
I don't know. You'll have to ask them. I'm kind of on the inside of the bubble. You guys are on the outside of the bubble a little bit. But I appreciate your words of understanding. Like, it is a difficult thing to do, and I think it becomes a process for sure. There's never just a one moment answer, a magic formula, a magic pill. Okay, it's done. We have it. It's something that you're doing every single day. We were fortunate to, and I didn't get to talk about our freshmen yet, who are just outstanding. They're so much fun. And I'll comment on them. But when you look at the transfers that we brought in, we had prior relationships with them. We'd gone through a recruiting process with them in high school. So from a culture standpoint, which is our first checkpoint of bringing players into our program, we knew that we had that. We knew them already. And they also knew us already, and they know what we're about. Have we changed a little bit since, being able when they were in high school to talk about the vision, and now we're a little bit closer to that? Sure. But at the end of the day, before we all come together, there's lots of great communication about how important those things are, which makes that transition and that buy-in already there. And so when you're here and you're going through the dirt and you're going through the mud, you're going through all this chaos together, it's really fun because you already know that buy-in is there. And we've got a great team, and we've got some freshmen that I'll talk about just for a minute because I mentioned our transfers that we have. So we have Kennedy Alexander and Brooklyn Alexander, who are 6'1" hybrid guards and forwards, again, giving us that size and versatility that come into us as freshmen. We have Whitney Sullivan, who's a 6'3". She'll tell you she's a 6'3" guard, and she's a 6'3" forward that is gonna, she's got some guard skills. She's gonna be really fun to watch. She comes to us from Illinois, and then we also, as a freshman, we brought in Bryn Eshu, who is a 6'2" forward with versatility. So really, in all of our incoming players, you're gonna see size, you're gonna see versatility, you're gonna see a fun excitement to be a part of that teamwork and toughness that we talk about.
Really quick, I want to ask about your contract extension. I mean, how was that? Getting to have that back in the screen and calling Tulsa home for a lot longer.
Yeah, well, it feels like it's been so long, but I can't ever express my gratitude enough, to the administration here in the university and Brad Carson here at the University of Tulsa. This is home. I'm so excited to be here. I think what we have at Tulsa, not even just in women's basketball, but in all of athletics and with our university, I think it's an incredibly special place, and I'm so excited to be able to call Tulsa home